What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Humble Pie Podcast. It's your boy, V's Jones, and I'm here with my co-host,
Wallace.
Big Wallace in the building, man. It's been a little minute, y'all. I feel good about being back on set. You know what I'm saying? We got a life outside the pod. You know what I'm saying? But it's been fun, man. I'm excited to get into the episode today, man. We've been brainstorming. But don't forget to like, follow, comment, subscribe. We up to 67 subscribers.
Oh.
Hey, we gonna look back at this video one day and be like, man, we was at 67. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Now we at 6,000. So
I remember when it was 6 or 7.
Oh yeah,
we had 6 or 7? Oh,
yeah,
okay. All right,
for
cool.
real. Hey, and it all matters, man. We appreciate everybody that's been supporting the podcast. So make sure you following us on all those channels. Myself and Wallace on Instagram. But we get into episode, 7, I think this is.
I don't know.
We get into the episode today, man. We're going to forget the numbers, but today we're talking about dating with purpose. Dating with purpose. Wallace, my main man.
Yeah.
Can you define, because you know you good at breaking it down, man. You so clever. What is dating?
What is dating?
Well, what does it actually look like?
Well, okay, all right. So, number one, dating is what dating looks like to you versus the next people or the next person.
Yeah.
It could be completely different.
Okay.
But on the most general aspect of dating is spending time with somebody, getting to know them, so y'all can possibly take things to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Going out, hanging out, doing y'all. So it's dating, taking steps to try to get to the next level, to try to get to know the person, to see if they're worth being in your life.
Yeah,
that's typically the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of that, you got to see our last episode called Situationships.
Yes, sir.
So, what in your opinion, what you think?
So I kind of agree with you with one point.
Mm-hmm.
One point I actually don't agree is the sex part in dating. Because hold on, let me because little freaks out there, hold on, keep your pants on. No, what I'm saying is when you're dating, I think what we're doing is being irresponsible, but when we having sex, that's what I want to say about that. The dating, if you get to know someone, I understand intimacy and all that. Don't get me wrong, I've been in a dating situation, it didn't get physical, but when they get physical, it always, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes when they get physical too soon, though, you kind of lose track of the dating aspect as far as going out, you know what I'm saying, and getting to know somebody and courting them and, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But for me, dating looks like, you know what I'm saying, kicking it, doing fun activities, bowling, sipping paint, hitting a nightclub or something like that, fun activities. That's what dating to me looks like. I don't really feel like it's like wine and dine. You got to take it to restaurants all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, but that's part of and now it feels like you're referring to more so going on dates. See, when I refer to dating, going on dates is a part of it.
Right.
But I think most important part of it is, learning the person, learning if you have chemistry with that person. Does this make sense for me to be dating, talking, or spending my time with them?
That's what I'm saying. Right. So if you spending your time with them, that's part of dating. So going to do fun stuff together. Because what if they're a boring person? Like, you don't want to date somebody that's boring. Or if you into that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So how does sex negate that? Like, what
because
get away?
Because what if you date multiple people? Because it's dating singular or plural. Are you dating more than one person?
No, you should be dating more.
Exactly. So if as a man, are you going to date? Just say you date 3 women. Are you going to have sex with all 3 of those women?
If that's what it comes to. One of the things with dating is you go with the flow of how the chemistry is going.
True.
So if that's where things are going, you could be having sex with all 3 or not having sex with any one of them.
Now you're gonna get some pushback on that now. From women, because women naturally are gonna say they're monogamous.
And they lying.
I agree with you to a certain extent.
Most of the time they are lying.
They're lying.
The age that we live in, these women are not monogamous.
So they're having multiple sex partners.
Yeah. I mean, they. I think the ideal of it is, okay, well, I only want to have one sex partner or whatever the case may be, and that's all well and good. But the reality of it is, and as a man, this, you've dated women who have multiple sex partners while you're dating them.
See, man, we don't ask questions.
No,
we feel like we top dog, we alpha if we get in the hit.
Care.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't care because we feel like, if we hit, oh well.
Right. Now, granted, those particular women might go into a certain category or something like that, but because going back to what I said in situationships episode, we compartmentalize women. That's the easiest thing to do. That's why that's why it just makes sense to. That's why our emotional connections don't be the same as women's emotional connections most of the time. Most of the time. Granted, there's always one-offs and overly emotional dudes here and there, but for the most part, our emotional connection is a little bit different. But just to go back to what I was saying, the sex, to me, sex doesn't blur any lines because it doesn't stop you from dating. Now, granted, sex does amplify things to a certain level or whatever the case may be. But I think what truly blurs the lines is the lack of communication while y'all dating.
Right.
So if you dating somebody and y'all start to having sex or whatever the case may be, and they looking for something specific, and you're as a man or a woman, you're implying that that you are looking for something specific, meaning, oh yeah, I want us to be together at some point, and this, that, and the third. But in the back of your mind, that's not true. That's where the lines get blurred.
So are we letting that? So if I'm out here dating, if I'm meeting a woman, am I letting her know off bat like, yo, this is what I'm on, or am I gonna fill her out first before I decide if I want to take the next step with her?
No, let her know off bat.
So you let her know off bat that if you seeing somebody else physically,
yes,
and having sex, you let them know off bat.
If they want to know, you let them know.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying
the biggest thing is to me is communication. Why not be honest? Now if they choose to go the opposite way because you told them the truth, then that's on them.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the most logical thing is make sure everything is clear in the beginning. So now you don't have to pretend. Once you're in a phase of pretending, that always runs out. Now you've become a different person that person is dating.
Right.
Which is not fair to the person that you're dating because you were this person. Now you're another person because you were this person because you were trying to keep certain things from them. Oh, I'm not dealing with nobody else, this, that, and the third. But when you're not able to answer the phone or you're not answering the phone because you're busy with the other person or whatever the case may be, now you got a lie.
Right. Deception, manipulation.
And the whole thing is it's unnecessary.
Yeah.
Women don't even require the lie. Tell them the truth. Give them the opportunity to say yes or no, and let them decide on their own. Because the thing is, if you don't want to be bothered with the way I'm doing me, then you can leave.
Right.
No feelings hurt, nothing. We can still call and talk to each other. We just don't have to date no more.
Now that happens in a perfect scenario where you keep it 100 or keep it a buck with a female, and they like, all right, I'm gonna leave, but they don't.
Right? No,
they don't. So now,
but that's because you gave them a choice. Now, once they make the choice to stay, then that's on them. It's no longer on you. You did your job as the person who's being honest. Now, if they're not honest with themselves and say, look, I'm uncomfortable with you dating other people and having sex with other people while we're dating and possibly having sex, then and they choose to stay anyway, that's on them. You did your job. You can't feel guilty about it. You can, none of that. You might be a little salty when the shit hit the fan and you figure out, oh, I don't want to do it like this no more. And this, that, and the third. Like, hey, this is what you agreed to. But you know what I'm saying? And then at that point, you can make a decision on whether you want to be bothered. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So that get me right to the next question then, because we want to talk about like, so if we dating, we saying this is an example, you dating 3 women or 2 women.
Yeah.
So how do you determine when to go to that next step? You know what I'm saying? How are we saying, how long, right, should we be together or dating before we decide to make this thing official? How long would you say?
The process, it's a process of elimination. It's not a time frame. It could be you could be dating one person or 3 people. And people eliminate themselves if they don't fit your game plan or you eliminate yourself if you don't fit their game plan. They might just fall back. So let's just say, for instance, you got a guy who's dating 3 girls.
Right.
All 3 of those girls, and I honestly, I just actually had a conversation with somebody about this. And she was telling me like, I don't talk to dudes who are dating multiple guys. Who are dating multiple girls. I said, why? She's like, because I feel like they won't have time for me if they dating 3 other people while they talking to me. I made it clear to her that a man don't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, if you come into his life, you might end up being priority number one.
Mm-hmm.
So the time might all go to you because you don't know where those people sit. Those 3 other people that they date, that you don't know where they sitting at. You don't know what compartments they might be within his life. He could just be smashing and dashing.
Right.
He could just have one person that he just go out on dates with here and there because he ain't got nothing else to do because he's single.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He might have another person that he just be on the phone with. He's just letting you know that, hey, this is what we're doing. And honestly, one of the people could even have a whole nother nigga.
Facts.
So so what I was telling her was, I'm like, yo, that don't even matter because if you're the one and he's giving you the time that you're looking for, roll with it.
I feel you.
But just be grateful that the nigga was honest about the shit in the first place.
For real, because a lot of it ain't happening. A lot of men ain't really keeping the buck when it comes to situations like that because they want their cake and eat it too. You know what I'm saying? And I was thinking about that too. I'm like, man, I think now when you, I guess, want to get to that next step, it's just kind of like it's like when you know, especially as a man. When you kind of know how to prioritize your emotions and feelings in a woman. So it's like, man, it just feel right. You know what I'm saying? She ain't really got to do too much, so to speak. We very simple, Joe. Like, man, we're very simple. We don't need a whole lot. We don't have a whole lot of prerequisites. We don't have a lot of requirements when it comes to what we're looking for in a woman. I think the older you get, above everything, you want peace. And the second thing, you want stability. You feel what I'm saying?
Big facts. Big facts on stability and peace.
Like those are like the main things. You know what I'm saying?
The most important thing, not to cut you off, the most important thing on going to that next level for a man is peace more than stability.
Facts.
Because you could be in an unstable situation with somebody and they're willing to rock out with you. Long as they're not causing any more extra drama on top and bringing you no more extra shit. Oh, y'all can figure the rest out.
For real.
But even if you stable already and you come home to somebody who is disruptive to everything else, you gotta argue, you gotta go back and forth, and this is consistent, it'll never work.
It'll never get to that next step. I learned that a lot myself, Joe. Like the older you get, the more peace it's like
it's everything.
It's everything. It's like you're not taking no shorts when it comes to protecting your peace. I feel like that's so important when trying to get to the next step. So getting to those next steps, I feel like it got to be like the energy, bro. You just got to feel it. So going out on those dates and having disagreements, I think that's really important, knowing how to get to that next step in a relationship too. You know what I'm saying? Because if we date multiple people, if you date one person, if you just trying to kick them to the side off one little disagreement, then you really ain't gonna build nothing. You know what I'm saying? But if you can sustain after having a disagreement, we're not saying nothing toxic, no toxic shit like that. Just disagreement about whatever, and can come back to the table and be like, yeah, man, I was wrong, but this is how I felt about it. I feel like then, okay, man, especially as a man, I can probably see myself being with her more than just dating her. I can probably commit to her in a way in which we can be exclusive. And from there, behaviors change.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. And those fall all into the process of elimination. So now you're like, okay, well, I got these other 2 girls that I'm talking to, and then I just had this agreement with her, but instead of me cutting it off, I kind of feel like I want to work more towards this. So now somebody is probably finna fall off. Somebody's probably finna get eliminated.
Eliminate themselves.
You know what I'm saying? Or going the opposite way. She that petty? We going back and forth about this, that, and the third. I can't get the benefit of the doubt of this, that, and the third, and you ain't even my girl. Oh yeah.
Scoop. I ain't really trying to be dealing with that.
It's a wrap.
Yeah. So again, I guess duration really, you can't really, I guess, put a time limit. You really can't say, hey, after 2-3 months or this, that, and the third, or after a year, because you got some people that date several years, and I think in the culture, especially Black people, we don't date long enough. I really feel like that. We don't because it's like we get into the commitment part before really getting to know somebody. You know what I'm saying? We really get into it without knowing if we compatible with this person.
Right.
Like, and that leads to another point of talking about like knowing who to actually date and compatibility.
Who to commit to.
Yeah, exactly. Who to commit to, because everybody's not going to be compatible.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what are some things that you might look for, or men look for in women as far as compatibility?
Like, okay, so let's address the time frame of the compatibility thing first. I think when it come down to being compatible with somebody, time will tell, right?
Yeah.
So that time could be 3 months. That time, sometimes you hit it off with somebody immediately.
Right.
That time, you know what I'm saying? Because it depends on the chemistry. I think where a lot of women was messing up back in the day, not back in our days. Well, back in our own little days, you got the whole Steve Harvey book coming out, and he telling me, "Oh yeah, think like a man."
Well, that was goofy.
Think like a man, and
Uncle Steve was wrong on that one, man.
Don't give him none for 90 days.
Yeah, the 90-day rule. That's what it's called.
Shit.
What?
Look like, but
that was madness, Joe. 90 days.
And so now you putting these restrictions and time frames on top of somebody who you might be feeling.
Right.
So for a man, that 90 days means that, oh, I'm still doing me for these 90 days. Right. I mean, I might still keep you in the cut if I really like you. If we really rocking and we really compatible like that, I might still keep you around for those 90 days. But just because, and I think this is what it was one of the things that women was fooled by with that book, and I'm gonna get back to this compatibility thing. I think that a lot of women felt like just because they wasn't having sex with the man for 90 days, that
when he wasn't having sex with somebody else.
But that don't mean that, ladies. Just FYI.
How you do that in the last episode? You're stupid.
So with that being said, in regards to just like the whole compatibility thing, that is key, because the compatibility goes along with chemistry, sexual chemistry, physical chemistry, mental chemistry. You know, can we have a conversation about certain shit and still be on the same page? Am I smarter than you? Or are you smarter than me? And if you are smarter than me, do the things you say intrigue me. Right. Like, you know what I mean?
Arouse my intellect.
Like, how do we, you know, you outside of that stuff, you get the next level is, yo, how do you keep your personal business? How do you what's your credit score?
Your life like. What's your life like? Yeah.
Now we live in 2 different houses, but how do you keep your house? Yeah. Like, you know, stuff like that. Do you have kids? How is your parenting with these kids? So you got these levels of compatibility that you deal with going into these you know, from the talking to the dating stage to when you're trying to get to the relationship stage.
Yeah. I think more so when we talk about compatibility, dating someone like in certain situations, if they're a parent, some women, men, I would just say some men prefer women with kids, right? Okay. Like I would prefer, just talking about me, I prefer to date a woman with children, right? One reason because I'm a father, right? And then 2, because a woman who has children has a maternal instinct about her that's going to give me some level of comfort that seeing how she may treat her children, she can potentially treat my kids the same way. You know what I'm saying? Right. And again, it's
give you an example of what
it may be like if my kids were around her and vice versa. I think that's very important. So it's very important, especially because women, they are very particular of who they have around their kids. Right. Yeah. As far as men, I think that's very important. You know what I'm saying? Because if mom's dating, you know, multiple men, she has the right to do that. Right. At the same time, that those men or that man, you know, everybody can be around your kids. Right. People say that all the time.
So somebody got to make the cut.
Yes, exactly. So that, again, I think that's a huge part on when you dating with purpose. If you are parents, finding someone who's compatible in the parenting department. Right. You know what I'm saying? Find someone who has those leadership qualities or those abilities to father children. Not necessarily, hey, you know, sit your ass down, but show them that they can care for their mom or show them you can care for their dad. You know what I'm saying? Kids need to see that if adults are adulting. You know what I'm saying? I think that's super important when we're talking about compatibility and knowing, you know, who's right for you. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It goes, I think, so far beyond, you know, I think you cute, I think you pretty, I think you got a fat ass, or you got a couple dollars, you drive a nice car. Right. But like you said, what's your credit like? What's your life like? Your lifestyle itself at some point in your life in the dating scene, that's going to matter above everything else too.
Right. And not to say that those other things are not important, because a lot of times we try to pretend like somebody being attractive is not important. That's all you care about? That's all you care about?
God don't like ugly.
Neither do I.
For real. No, that's true though. But go ahead.
But yeah, like, you know, people, we got to stop pretending like that's not a thing. Like the attraction of a person and how they look is not a thing, because Granted, depend on and everybody's attraction is different. Mm-hmm. So it kind of depends on what you're attracted to, because you might see a fine girl with an ugly dude.
Yeah.
She might be attracted to what he got and how he carries himself. You might see a ugly girl that can dress very well, carry herself well, speak well, on top of her shit.
But she's
she's just not the cutest thing in the world. But you have a conversation with her, you're like, like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So these things do matter.
Yeah.
But overall, that's not what you initially see. A lot of times you gotta see more than if they ugly, it's a harder chance to really get that chemistry going, rather than being fine, because now automatic it's like, hey, yo, what's up? Let me talk to you.
Check it out, little mama. Hey, I want to get into something too, because we was talking about this off camera, and I wanted to bring it up because I kind of agree with it. You know what I'm saying? When we talking about dating and getting to marriage, right? So like when we were dating, this is not my word. This is something I saw on social media.
Yeah.
And I'll probably add that name or that overlay or video in this scene so they'll know.
Yeah.
But he spoke on how when we're dating, we're practicing for divorce.
The concept of what we call dating is honestly practicing divorce. Try it as many times as you want to until you find the one. But what you've done is you've formed a habit of getting into things and getting out of them. So what ends up happening is when you get into a marriage and you're like, they're better than everybody else. When it gets tough, you're like, the first reflex I know to do is get out of it.
Mm-hmm. And now I'm gonna say it again. When we're dating, this is his point. He said, he's a pastor. He says, when we're dating, we are practicing divorce.
Okay.
Right? And his point goes on to say how, well, once we get into an actual marriage, the first sign of trouble, we duck out. And it's because we subconsciously create a habit of leaving situations when they're no longer suitable for us. Mm-hmm. Now, I can kind of see where he was going with that, as far as like, well, as far as the habits.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But when you marry, it's a whole other ball game.
Yeah.
So what would be your take on that? Are we practicing the divorce when we dating?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all.
So what are we doing when we dating?
When we're dating, we're practicing building.
Yeah.
We're practicing building towards something that we want. So the ultimate goal is to be in a situation that benefits us mutually.
Right.
For me to care enough about the person that my world combines with theirs, and I am a asset to them. Mm-hmm. They're an asset to me and not a liability. Mm-hmm. That's the number one thing that I feel like dating is. Practicing for divorce to me is getting married and divorcing over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. That's practicing for the divorce.
So like getting married multiple times?
Yeah, and getting divorced over and over again. Because the thing is, if you get married 5 times, 4 times, 3 times, what are you looking for?
Exactly.
Who are you looking for? Mm-hmm. And what's the reason that you married this person in the first place? Mm-hmm. Did you have some type of motive in regards to these marriages?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're a woman, because most of the time it kind of benefits you more. Mm-hmm. Most of the time. I ain't saying all the time, but in general, most of the time it kind of benefits you more. Mm-hmm. So to me, dating practicing for divorce is a far cry away from what it actually is.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near practicing for divorce. The thing is, people get divorced because things don't make sense. Mm-hmm. If it don't make sense, that means one or both parties probably changed.
Yeah.
And now we have to separate because this no longer benefits us mutually.
Mm-hmm. I feel like people could have done that while dating. I think
you can do it.
Yeah, I think when they dating, Joe, like, and they don't really know their purpose.
Yeah.
So because they don't know their purpose, they end up in a situation or even a marriage that ain't suitable for them.
And when you say purpose, you mean the purpose of them going into this relationship?
Yeah, building something together. Yeah. Like all the things we were talking about with compatibility and mental stability and peace of mind, like they skipping over that or overlooking those facts because they just want to be married.
Right.
They want to have somebody to call their own. Yeah. Like that type of stuff ain't gonna matter because, well, this is my husband or this is my wife.
Yeah.
So you gotta be this way, you gotta be that way. It's like, hold on. And you hear that too, like, don't ever stop dating your wife or don't ever stop dating your spouse. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to marriage in general. Right. I feel like that same energy.
Which basically means never stop going on dates.
Like actual dates, go out and do stuff. I mean, and again, because we talking about dating, that happens too. Like I said, when you don't want to start when you get physical too soon, when dating, that's where the problem can come in at too. Because if you start having sex off that, then it's like in your mind what you do. Oh, I'm already thinking I'm gonna hit just because if I do a little bit of this, I ain't gotta do nothing, and I'ma still smash. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that complicates the dating thing, especially when you have multiple people. If you dating multiple women, so like if you dating two, let's just say two or three. You know what I'm saying? And you smash, you having sex with all of them or one of them, and often it's like that's gonna cause some conflict, whether we wanted to or not, whether you being honest or not, bro. I'm telling you, women gonna feel away, Joe.
But if I'm okay, you say whether I'm being honest or not.
Yeah, because you were saying earlier how communicate.
Right. If you feel away,
sometimes it ain't gonna work. If you
feel away, whose fault is that?
The woman?
I told you what I'm doing.
But the woman still gonna blame you for how she feel.
But she can't blame you.
Yes, she is. Yes,
no, she can't. Because I told her and she stayed.
But
she needs to look in the mirror and blame her.
Man, you find a woman that's accountable.
Ooh.
You find one of those.
Now that's a different story. Because a lot of women are not accountable when it comes to certain things. And in my opinion, which is kind of fact, women don't necessarily have to be accountable for certain things, and we've babied them and treat them like women, since they were born from their daddy's little princess.
Yeah.
And even as a man, that's my baby. Yeah. Like that's a grown woman though.
I just feel like if we out here dating, Joe, you can be honest, but it don't matter. Right. People still dudes too. Like, don't no man want to hear that the girl he talked to or try and talk to or build something with talk to somebody else. Come on now, because what he gonna consider her to be?
What he need to do is know his place as a man and get out of his fucking feelings.
But they ain't gonna do that.
Right, then he need to leave the situation. But this is the thing. These are the things. These are the cornerstones that say, look, this gonna put me this gonna keep me out of a situation with a person who I can't deal with. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So. Now, if you accept all of this shit and all of the emotional things that come along with it while you're dating, and then you still turn this person into a boyfriend or a girlfriend or whatever the case may be in the process, and then turn around and marry them, and then turn around and divorce them for the same thing that you was upset with them about when y'all was dating, who's the fool?
Yeah, because some people get married thinking you gonna change.
Yeah, no,
because you my wife now.
Yeah, but the thing is, a lot of times people get married based off of a man asks a woman to marry him based off some shit he did, try to get out the hole. And then she say, yeah, like a dummy.
Right.
Like, oh, yeah. I know you got 2 babies on the way now, but you just popped the question to me, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. But whose fault is that?
Yeah.
So because if I'm a habitual anything that you don't like, a habitual cheater, a habitual beater, a habitual whatever the fuck it is, and then I turn around and ask you to say to marry me, and you say yes, and we go through this whole process, you giving me the green light to continue to do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Yeah, and on that, now we talking about marriage, right?
Yeah,
and if it don't work out, you break up. So now you living in this what purgatory of wasted time. Now you feel like the last 2 or 3 years of your life, or how long you've been dating this person, that time was wasted because y'all didn't get married. You know what I'm saying? Y'all broke up, or she had a baby. Like all type of things happen in the dating process, even if you date multiple people. So that's why we
family ties.
Exactly. So that's why we saying we gotta be dating with real purpose, because if not, you're gonna create another family, or you're gonna create extra drama in your life, or you're going to waste time, you're going to waste finances, you're going to be behind in life because you weren't purposeful from jump in your dating situation.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's going on now a lot, and why, like we were talking about, how toxicity and situationships exist, because people have dated or they attempted at dating already, but they wasn't dating with purpose. So now they're in situations that are beneficial to them in the short term.
Yeah.
And they're not looking to really build nothing long term. You know what I'm saying? So we just trying to remind y'all again that if you're going to get out there and do it the right way. Like, date with some purpose. Like, have some standards about it.
And if you are dating with a purpose, you have to make sure that's communicated within the situation.
Yeah.
Now, you can't fault somebody on things that you didn't communicate with them.
Give me an example.
Like, first, the number one thing is you gotta teach somebody how to treat you. Now, granted, for some reason, we under the impression that when somebody come into the relationship, they should know already know exactly how to treat you, exactly how to know how you like your eggs cooked and all this. No, you got to teach them how to treat you.
I agree.
So if once you set those guidelines and those boundaries, and that shows you like that, well, that shows them, hey, I can't cross this line because they don't like that. But it also shows them as, oh, let me treat them a certain way because I can't treat, because your last relationship might be completely different from your next one.
Sure.
The last girl you dated might be completely, the sex that you had with the last person might be completely different from this next one. She might like certain things that the other girl might not like.
Right.
You might have to introduce some shit. She might think you like crazy for doing some shit you was doing.
Facts. That like, same normal and something else. Yeah.
Your norms can be different. Right. So in those situations, you gotta teach the person. I keep wanting to say train, but people are so scared of that train word because it sounds like the first thing they think about is a dog. Yeah. They don't think about physical training and basketball training and football training.
It's creating good habits.
Right, creating good habits.
Yeah.
But you got to teach a person how to treat you.
Yeah.
And if you don't, and you're not voicing your opinion, and you're allowing them to do what they want to do, or not only that, even if you are voicing your opinion and then they continue to do what they want to do and you stay in that situation, it's your fault. The problem with that I see personally, and this is from my own anecdotal conversations with women who I've talked to, who I've been around, or whatever the case may be, the problem that I see that women usually have, given their nurturing nature, they allow niggas to do too much. So they allow niggas to do too much to the point where it drags along, and then now they have a baby.
Yeah.
Now they're not with the person after they have the baby, or now they have some other not soul ties, but like ties with them. Oh, we got a car in our name.
Oh man.
Or we got a house in our name, or we got some property in our name. But the thing is, now y'all on the outs now.
Yeah.
After all y'all created all this, but y'all before this thing happened, whether this life event, this baby or whatever, this property or whatever the case may be, right here's where you should have ended it.
Yeah.
Because you're dealing with these problems on the other side of that. So it is with, but that comes with knowing your value, and sticking to it. If you don't like something, granted, it's okay to give somebody on some a pass on something that y'all can work through. Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody ain't gonna be perfect for everybody. So you might have to eat your pride on some shit. Like, all right, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you gotta compromise on some shit. But if you compromise on some shit that's a deal breaker for you, and you end up rocking out in that situation for the long term and then breaking up later on and then that's the man's fault, it's not.
Yeah.
Because he told you, he showed you multiple times.
Women think they can change a man though, and I guess we hate to use the word change and train and words like that, but I feel like for a man he would naturally be who he's supposed to be when he wants to, ready to want to. It just the caliber of woman matters too.
Yeah.
Or the caliber of man matters too. The caliber of the woman matters too. So sometimes, ladies, this man may not be particularly not treating you in the frequency that you want or the way you want is because y'all not compatible. Y'all butting heads in ways like, oh, this, that, and the third is because y'all ain't compatible. And you want him to be a certain way that he not. If he not a romantic dude, but you trying to get him to be romantic, it's not really gonna work. And then
when they mad when they break up, and then they see the dude on Instagram just threw this whole girl Valentine's Day dinner, and all like, wait, why you wasn't doing it with me? Because that wasn't for y'all.
Yeah.
That's
you didn't bring that out of him.
Yeah, exactly.
For real,
and that's why y'all didn't work. Also, no matter how I was with him for 4 years. Yeah, you stretched out 4 years. With a person who didn't want you.
Should have been for 4 months. Should have been for 4 months. And I think that's super important too. And we talked about how long, like you definitely can date for too long too. Like some people stay too long. That's staying too long in a situation because people do that. Like you just said, they see the person that they used to be with being with somebody else, and they ain't do this with me or they ain't do that with he ain't do that or she ain't do that. Yeah, because you ain't bring out those best qualities, I guess we would say, of that person. Exactly. Because the y'all dating purpose wasn't that.
Yeah, chemistry didn't hit the same.
Exactly.
Chemistry and it's okay.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is knowing where your value lies in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
The question you always want to ask yourself, and I ask myself on this on several occasions, even with any relationship, treat all of this shit like a business. Is this an asset or a liability? Especially in if you at a certain age in life.
For real.
Is this an asset or a liability?
Because that matters.
How especially for men. This is a real big thing for men, but women, y'all definitely allow some liability ass niggas in y'all life, and he ain't bringing not one asset to the table.
Nope.
He not even motherfucker don't even want to help you bring the groceries in.
Right, but guess what? I'm cutting you off for a good reason because I'm kind of see if I could trip you up again. That's why I said sex, bro. Mm-hmm. That could be one of the reasons why he a liability. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Now you just said he ain't doing nothing right here. Liability.
Yeah.
When dating him.
Yeah.
But maybe because he's smashing the good, or she get that physical satisfaction, she allowing it. She allowing to be blinded by everything else.
Yeah.
That's why when you dating or date multiple people, that's why sex. If you take that out the equation in a situation like that, it don't even happen because she's like, oh no, they don't date because they don't end up in a situation where she's stuck with a dude that's a liability. She gonna find somebody more compatible because she's not just looking for the sex, or she's not having sex with this person at all, bro. That's what I'm saying. When the sex get in, listen, get your freak on is what I'm saying. But I'm not saying get your freak on too, because if you doing it all the time when you dating, bro, multiple people, I'm telling you, bro, it's not going to work. It's going to allow stuff to go on too long.
That's my point. Then it shouldn't work.
But I'm saying
if it's not going to work, then it shouldn't work.
Right.
Then you don't need to be in it.
Right, but I'm telling you, people will stay because of the sex.
And whose fault is that?
We said man or woman?
It's the person's fault who's staying. Like if you're in a situation and you're a victim of the situation and in the relationship, and you
no, there are no victims in relationships. Only participants.
Oh, okay. So if
let's be clear on that.
So if that's the case, and they choose to stay, then it's only their fault. So this is what they choose. Let them choose what they choose. It ain't the sex that's throwing off the chemistry of the relationship. It's the person that's throwing off the chemistry of the relationship. Because if you ain't supposed to be having sex with this person, or this person is a liability in your life, and you start having sex with them just because it's good, you want to hang around. That shit, you're an idiot.
Man, I guarantee you, there's people out there right now.
No, there are several people out
there.
And that's why the divorce rate is so high.
Real. Because when they was dating, they was smashing, they was having sex, bro, or they was only together for the sex. Because the sex, let's just say the sex in month 1 not gonna be the same as it was in month 6 or 7. It ain't gonna be the same. So the staying power and the compatibility got to be outside the bedroom. Is all I'm saying.
So if the sex is not going to be the same, then why would they stay? My thing is allow the chemistry to be the chemistry. Mm-hmm. However long it takes. Because the thing is, even with a dude who got an ulterior motive, and that's kind of what you're implying, like a dude that's a liability might have an ulterior motive on the girl that he's actually talking to to have sex. Mm-hmm. You know just as well as I do. A nigga will hang around for as long as they need to smack. like come on, like that like if that's what the goal is,
right?
You want to wait 6 months? Oh, okay, I'll wait 6 months. I'm still smashing over here,
right?
But for you, I still wait 6 months, and then I'm still gonna be the same nigga who I was gonna be if I'd have hit 6 days.
Right.
And so it really don't even that don't even matter. If the person wants the person, they're gonna be with them, or they're gonna attempt to be with them. If the chemistry rate, if things make sense, they actually are gonna attempt to be with the person, regardless of whether it's 6 days in or 6 months in. Mm-hmm. So you can smash, but what determines your ability to your self-worth, that's on you. Mm-hmm. That's on you. You want to deal with a liability and all this motherfucker is problems, whether that's a man or a woman, that's on you. You can't even put it on the person. Shame on, what is it? Shame on me? Or does fool me once? Shame on me? You?
I don't know that shit.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Twice.
Because it's my fault.
The second time.
Again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that you these motherfuckers out here getting fooled once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, 6 years,
6 years,
8 years, 9 years, and then at the end of the day, when he finally do that final thing, niggas ain't shit.
Right.
No.
And here we go.
No, it's you.
Yeah.
It was you. Or
stupid.
when the woman finally do what she do, bitches ain't shit.
Right.
No, sir.
She a hoe. She a eater.
All of these things she has been for the entire 6 years y'all been dating.
All right.
And you're the idiot because you're paying all of her bills.
Yep.
You're doing all of this trying to make her stay and trying to make her happy. But that's not making her happy or making her behave like you want her to behave.
Yeah.
Like, so that shit is, people got to take more accountability for themselves. They got to take more accountability in how they value their lives and where they want to see their shit going.
For real.
Which goes back to your purpose.
Yep.
If you dating with a purpose, then that purpose should always be in mind. As soon as the person that you dating falls out of alignment with your purpose, then they should fall out of alignment with your life.
So we cutting people off right away. Soon they're not aligned with our path.
Why not?
Because some people might say you might miss your blessing. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I hear this all the time too. I don't want a man. I want a man. I don't want a project. Is what I hear.
Right.
So what they saying is, that those are a group of women who have decided on the dating scene that, hey, you gotta meet this criteria.
Yeah.
A, B, C, and D before you even. So what's your take on that? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel like that? Because some men may be a project, or some women may be a project, but because a person has already said, I'm not dealing with a woman that that don't have a job. I'm not dealing with a woman that's toxic.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with a woman that don't got a car.
Or that some material, right? You know what I'm saying? So now but say they get that car 2 weeks after you known them, so now they're doing better, or now they're improving themselves. Yeah. So you can still potentially miss out on something good for lack of patience too. Is what I'm trying to get at. So because you saying they're not measuring up to what we want off bat, then they gotta go. I might need a little more patience. I might give a little more grace to the situation.
Okay, so with the reason why I say that is the number one thing about blessings and luck and opportunity. I feel like you might miss out on something because you're not prepared for it. Okay. So the person that you probably dating or wanted to date or whatever the case may be, y'all situations weren't prepared for each other. So you didn't necessarily miss out. It wasn't time.
It wasn't time.
So if you ever seen a lottery winner turn around and they blow all of their fucking money, you're like, damn, I wasn't even mentally prepared for this blessing that fell in my lap. You can do the same thing with a person. Okay. A person can come in your life and you just literally hit the jackpot. But if you mentally not in the space where you ready to be in a relationship with this kind of person, so you just say a 22-year-old V's versus a 32-year-old V's, you know what I'm saying? Coming through, they got two different things on their mind. Hell yeah. Two different women fit their criteria. The woman at 32 come to V's at 22. Oh, he finna blow it. Yeah. But 32 she come to him at 32 and say, oh yeah, this is how we building. This is what we doing. This, that, the third. You come to a motherfucker that's 22 to oh, this is how we building, and we finna get your credit. Like, look, shorty, I get what you're saying.
I ain't on that right now.
I'm out here. I'm trying to live. Right. So so to me, the blessings and you only miss them because you ain't prepared
for them.
So you can fault yourself for not being prepared or whatever the case may be, but the goal is to always be in a position of readiness to walk into. You know what I'm saying? You get a call up from the G League right now. They say, hey man, I need you to hit 5 jumpers straight, and you ain't touched the ball in 6 months. Damn.
That'll never happen, by the way.
You ain't touched the ball in 6 months. Yeah. You weren't prepared. Right. You lucked up because you got this call. Right. But you just missed your blessing because you ain't touched the ball in 6 months. You slow. You know what I'm saying? The whole nine. Your fast switch muscles ain't fast switching no more. Right. So it's just that's to me, that's just what that come down to. You miss out on the blessing because you weren't ready for it. So ain't no such thing as luck. It's just opportunity.
Right. I agree. I don't believe in luck either. I really believe, like I said, readiness and preparation, proper preparation. I agree with that wholeheartedly. So that was kind of like what I was trying to get at. Like, some people might be impatient, but at the same time, I guess on the other side of that coin is they just ain't ready.
They just ain't
ready.
So
if you ain't ready to be dating, because some people shouldn't be dating.
And this is just me. And at my ripe old age, I feel like a woman should have a car.
Okay.
Because I don't have time to pick you
her
up
up
from everywhere.
Right.
And I'm not spending money on getting Uber from everywhere to Uber you. Hey, could you come pick me up to go from work? Could you come pick me up from home? Could you come do this? Could you come do that? So to me, you weren't ready for me because that's not compatible with my lifestyle. Something that's as simple as that. Like,
yeah. I mean, that's a deal breaker.
Now granted, it could be a situation where the person, you know, they might warrant all of that. Like they're working towards something.
Yeah.
But if you just a person and you know, they're just like, I just don't like to drive. I refuse to ever drive. I don't know. If you don't live next door to me, then we got a problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, but it just, to me, it's just being prepared for the person that you want. If, you know, a lot of times we as men and women, we want these certain profiles of people, but who are those profiles of people? Do they want us? Are we ready for the people that we want?
Right. Are we compatible?
Are we even compatible? Like I used to hear Kevin Samuels say this shit all the time. What do to these girls that say, "Oh, I need a man who making $400,000 a year, and he need to take care of me and all my kids." And the first thing he used to say, what do the man that you want from you? And do you match what? So they get a list of the things that they want. Do you match up with that list? No. So what makes you think?
Right. You can ask or require.
Like, come on now.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's just really what it comes down to me when it comes to that compatibility and being ready and the blessings portion of that.
Hey man, go ahead.
Do the people have Do the people have the right to be upset if we don't make it to that next step, make it to that next stage of dating? Does the other person have the right to be upset if they don't become the girlfriend or the boyfriend in the situation?
I think naturally people will, but my natural response, I'll kind of be like, hell no, nah. Like you ain't what you mad about? Like if you ain't make the cut, you ain't make the cut. Right. But then the remorseful side of me was like, you know what? Damn, it's kind of messed up. But at the end of the day, I mean, people gonna have their reaction based on how they feel.
Right.
They feelings are their own. You know what I'm saying? If just like, okay, I might want to be with her, but don't want to be with you. I mean, that's just how I go, or vice versa. She want to be with you and not him. You gotta live with that. I mean, so saying somebody has a right to be mad or not, I mean, that's strictly prerogative at the end of the day. Like they can be mad. Most people do. Yeah. Particularly women, they're gonna have an attitude. They're gonna be upset because women automatically compare. Yeah. That's just what they naturally gonna do. Yeah. Or she ain't this and she ain't that. Go ahead.
I kind of think, you know, granted, people will be mad if they really. People are mad if they don't want the person. Let's be honest. Yeah. If they don't want the person and they don't make the cut. But I think the only time that they actually have a right to be mad is if the other person implies or lied to them or manipulated them into thinking, hey, this is where we're going. This is what I want to do with you. And then they turn around and change up.
Yeah. I mean, within that, yeah.
Because now you got that other person's momentum going towards that goal. And then you turn around and stop and say, oh.
The floor is lava.
So once the other party change their mind or they do something different outside of what we discussed, the other person got a right to be mad.
So obviously because it can be different variables, right? Because that's different variables. That's what I'm saying. Like, so obviously if everything goes according to plan, if he's honest, she's honest, then then there should be no feelings. But if he keeping stuff from you and you keeping stuff from him, then there's gonna be some blurred lines there. Yeah. Obviously, there's gonna be some feelings, and people gonna get their feelings hurt. So people gonna be mad regardless. You know what I'm saying? So hey, if you out there dating right now, this is for you. If you want to date, it can be for you, man. I had a lot of fun with this one, man. Dating for purpose, dating with purpose.
What's your final thought, like on with dating for purpose? If it's a woman that's out here right now watching this, you know what I'm saying? Because I looked at our analytics, they 98.999% women. So if it's a woman out there that's watching this right now, what's your final thought with her? If she's dating with a purpose, how does she get to that final goal? How should she handle dating if she's trying to date with a purpose in 2023?
Provide peace, firstly.
Mm-hmm.
Have boundaries. Understanding to allow a man to be a man is very important.
Mm-hmm.
It's an innate ability that some women have and some women don't.
Mm-hmm.
Some women have gotten so masculine in their mental that it has come into their lifestyle. But a woman, if you're truly dating, grow and be in your divine femininity. Let that flourish. Stay in your soft era. Don't think like a man. Be a woman. Be exactly what you were intended to be. And I feel like when a woman is truly divine in her purpose, if a man is truly genuine in pursuing her in the dating aspect, she can truly be happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't sell yourself short and you can't accept anything either.
Right.
You got to have some boundaries about yourself. You got to understand what you bring to the table and what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I think women should not necessarily not abstain from sex, but understand what comes with that when she does it.
Right.
Because men, we can get up and walk away a lot easier.
Yeah.
But a woman, if you're choosing to share your body with this man, be very particular of that soul tie. Be very particular. So again, honoring your body is also in some, I think, a woman right now dating, I think that's very important in a very sexualized world, with a very openly sexual world. And I'm not criticizing it. It's just where we at right now in 2023.
Right.
You know, you have these avenues and all these different things that's tied into sex. You know what I'm saying? So I can understand if, don't feel pressured, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Right. Don't feel pressured to having something physical with a man. So provide peace, bask in your divine femininity, and have boundaries. I guess if I'm just summing it up real quick, I said all that to say. So yeah, I think, and knowing self-worth, like that would probably negate a lot of multiple dating partners too.
Self-worth is key.
Yeah.
Value in oneself is key.
Yeah.
Sticking to what you want, not to the point of where you're depriving yourself, is key. So my quick advice for a woman who's dating with a purpose: stick to your purpose.
Yeah.
Stick to your purpose. If they don't fit or they don't align with your purpose, then they don't align with your life, and you got to keep it moving. Go to the next one, so on and so forth. It's okay to date, regardless of what V say. It's okay to smash if you feel like smashing.
I ain't say that.
He wants you to lock it up with a
chastity belt. That is not what I'm saying.
Put it behind a brick wall until you get married. You know
He's out there telling these women not to give us no pussy. Oh no!
Beat them up in the comments, cuz.
Hey, thank y'all for watching, man. Make sure y'all get our humble pie tees. Support the podcast. Thank you for being here today, man. I appreciate you, man. I had a lot of fun with this one, man. Peace.